Will Kylo Ren be creating new super weapons for the First Order in Star Wars Episode 9? And if he does, will all the Star Wars fans lose their minds? Well, there's a rumor out there that suggests he will. We are breaking it all down. This is the Nerdy News Rundown. Let's get you filled in. Before we get into this, we need to shout out Jonathan Wetzel, who got the nerd card question correct in one of my most recent Avengers 4 videos. You definitely know your stuff when it comes to Avengers stuff, so shout out to you, Jonathan Wetzel. We'll do another nerd card question at the end of this video. Just a little note about the nerd card questions too. I saw some people in the comments talking about how I don't always shout out the person that gets the nerd card question correct first in the video. And to be honest with you, this is sort of intentional. Before, way back in the day, I would always shout out the person that got the answer correct first. And while I do appreciate people that want to get it right first, I actually want to encourage everybody that watches these videos to answer the nerd card question correctly in the comment section. And I thought, well, I can randomly pull someone that gets the nerd card question correct and then put their name, in the next shout out. So I don't know, that's kind of the way I'm doing it right now, but let me know in the comment section, do you think that it should be the very first person that gets it correct? Are you okay with it being someone who randomly gets it correct? Let me know in the comment section, guys. Do we need to reform the nerd card questions? I don't know. I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but I have been seeing it pop up. Let me know your thoughts. All right, so let's get into this story. And the thing is, we kind of have to right away say that, yeah, this is a Mike Zero thing. And I know people are like, why are you even bringing Mike Zero up? Or why are you covering topics that Mike Zero is talking about? It's a complicated issue, but this is interesting because a lot of other people are running with this. This is news that happened, I think, to me a week ago, but a lot of people have been recirculating this story with their own spin on it in different articles and different videos and things like that. And it's gotten to the point where I feel once again sort of forced to talk about this just because of all of the waves that this story is making. But guys, as far as I know, this story all dates back to a Mike Zero supposed leak that he has attained. So, as he says, let's take this with a grain of salt. I'm going to kind of treat this as speculation for the remainder of this video because I don't think we can necessarily say that this is an actual leak given the history of Mike. But let's just get into the story. So this apparent leak or speculation is basically that there will be a scene where Kylo Ren is looking at a hologram of some cylindrical ships that are apparently super weapons. These things are designed to sort of land on a planet and devastate the surface of that planet. Many people are talking about how the description of these devices really resembles that of the World Devastators from the Dark Horse Dark Empire comic book series. I'm putting images up right here. These sort of things almost look like vacuums of sorts that sort of terraform planets. And so they're these big super weapons. They've been in Legends before, and apparently they may show up in Star Wars Episode 9. Now, the scene described where Kylo is looking at these designs is like a minor scene. It does not seem like this is going to be a big part of this film where at the very end of it, that's the main thing that they all have to defeat. That's the big bad thing. It's these world devastators. No, that's not what's going on. This is just a scene that's showcasing a potential plan for the future of the First Order where they will have these devices made. So I don't think people will be pissed. I mean, the big narrative with this story, people are talking about this, is they're trying to angle in another thing that fans will be upset about. And they're sort of claiming that if we go the super weapon route once again, people are going to be upset. So the first thing I want to mention is this is a minor scene, so I don't think people would be upset if it happened. And the second thing is it's so different from the Death Star that I think it's totally okay. A lot of people's gripes with Starkiller Base is the fact that it's literally just a bigger Death Star. I mean, the characters even say it in the movie.
It's another Death Star.
I wish that were the case, Major. This was the Death Star.
And this is Starkiller Base.
And not only that, but there's a lot of stuff that leads up to that part of the film that's really beat for beat what you get in A New Hope. So I don't think that just the superweapon thing is something that people are upset about. There have been all sorts of different superweapons in different parts of Star Wars, whether they be in the shows, in the comic books, or novels. And so, I just think this is a non-issue. People are not going to be upset about this. But then again, I kind of am curious. Do you guys think you would be upset if they go this route and have superweapons in Star Wars Episode 9? Now, let's just consider that maybe the speculation is true and that this does happen in Star Wars Episode 9. Like, how would I personally feel about it? I have to be honest, I think it would be very cool. You see, one of the tactical disadvantages of having the Death Star is that it consumes so many resources and it can only be at one place at one time. It's usually going to terrorize like one system at a time, and although it can jump through hyperspace, the fact that, you know, it takes that long to sort of fire up its weapons, the fact that it takes so many resources to even keep this thing functional, it's not really, as far as the strategy is concerned, a good idea. And this is something that Grand Admiral Thrawn talks about. In fact, at the end of the first new canon Thrawn novel, Thrawn is talking to the Emperor about the Death Star project and warning him, talking about how this is not a good tactical idea, and it would be much better to have smaller ships or smaller devices which could terrorize multiple systems at one time. And so if these world devastators are real, they're a logical extension of the whole superweapon idea. I like the fact that they could be in multiple places at once. Also, I think tactically it would be very beneficial to be able to destroy parts of the surface of a planet without destroying the whole planet. After all, some planets have really great strategical spots in the galaxy. They're either close to hyperspace lanes or they're close to other systems, you know what I mean? So it doesn't necessarily make sense for just destroying a bunch of planets, even though that can be a very devastating thing. And finally, I like superweapons. I think superweapons are totally fine. I mean, first of all, they have a metaphorical, thing going on with what's going on in the real world with weapons of mass destruction and different things like that. So I like them because they're a metaphor, but also because they're terrifying. I mean, one of the things that you need the First Order to accomplish, you need the Empire to accomplish, is to be truly terrifying as an entity. And this ability for them to just move around these massive weapons that destroy massive amounts of people all at once is a terrifying prospect. So I'm all for it, basically. But all of that said, that is the news, everybody. A story that just won't go away about how Kylo Ren might have super weapons in Star Wars Episode 9. And the angle out there is that this will upset Star Wars fans. So I want to know, what do you guys think about this scene? Do you think it's likely to happen? Do you think it's total bull crap? And how do you feel about superweapons? Would you be super upset if Star Wars Episode 9 had these world devastators, or are you like, nah, it's cool, they're kind of cool? Whatever you're thinking, I want to know. Let me know in the comment section below. Now let's check that nerd card real quick. You guys said too that these nerd cards are too easy, so I picked a hard one for you today. I want to know, what does R2-D2 actually stand for? Where did that name come from? It has something to do with George Lucas. And so the question remains, what does R2-D2 stand for? Answer that question in the comment section below. That's going to do it for the Thursday show. Thank you so much for tuning in this week, getting some of your nerdy news over here. You can click below to watch some more videos, and we've got that dope merch over there too. Click that button. It's better than everyone else's merch. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and nerdy day, and I will see you in the next video.